This is episode number 188 of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. Hello and welcome. I'm Sal DiVincenzo, joined as usual by my fabulous colleagues, Sarah Fade.
Hey.
And Nicole Rambo.
Hello.
How are you ladies doing today?
Good.
You know, last week when the show went up, the day the show went up, they released the trailer for the new Matrix movie. Did you see it?
No.
Okay. Very good. All right. So that
That concludes our episode today. Join us next week.
yes. Just read our show notes. You know, there's someone here at the podcast who is very passionate about Keanu. Her name is Sarah Fade. And we got to talking after we finished recording about this Matrix 4 trailer was coming up, and you know we were all excited about it, and it posted on Thursday, and I watched it. I saw it a few times actually. I watched it, and I thought to myself, you know, Sarah's always yapping about this guy, and yet I haven't seen one of his, I guess, most recently more popular films and his more popular film series. So it's been about 2 months since we've done a movie chat, which is a long time. Talked about the movies a couple weeks ago, but I thought, you know what? I get to pick this time.
All right.
And I picked John Wick.
Oh, how nice of you.
Which I've never seen before. So today we're going to talk about John Wick. So if you haven't seen John Wick...
Who hasn't?
I haven't.
I know.
I hadn't up till now. But if you haven't seen John Wick, then now's the time to pause and then come back because we're going to spoil it a number of different ways.
Well, it's not really.
I guess if you know what John Wick, if you
Right.
vaguely know what the movie's about, then you'll probably guess, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
there's no.
It's not like a big
Yeah.
spoilers or anything
Yeah, that's
like
true.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to what this is all about. So anyway, this came out in 2014. It stars the one, the only, the amazing Keanu Reeves as John Wick. Michael Nyqvist. Is that how you say his name? Nyqvist. The late Michael Nyqvist stars as Vigo. Alfie Allen stars as his son.
He's such
Joseph.
a good,
Wiener.
twerpy, like awful person. Like I think
Perfect.
Well,
That's his
he
face.
redeemed himself in Game of Thrones. I felt so bad for him.
Well, okay, yeah, yes, no, he did, but still, he played such a good bad guy though. Like
Oh,
his-
No, he played it perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just a little.
yeah, no, he's so good at that.
Which is,
I
sorry,
want to
Alfie.
say something, a little something, but I can't say it.
Why not? Say it.
No, we have to beep it. I don't want to beep it. Willem Dafoe
Ah.
is Marcus.
You know it's gonna be good when he pops up.
Poor
Yes.
Marcus.
Mr. Mayhem himself, Dean Winters, is Avi, because you know Mr. Mayhem on those insurance commercials.
Oh,
You know-
yeah,
You know
yeah,
Dean.
yeah.
You know Dean Winters officially died in 2009 for like 3.5 minutes.
Really?
Did he have insurance?
I hope so. They brought him back, but
Geico.
he's had like bones broken, like reconstructive surgery and everything like that.
Oh,
And
wow.
while he was in the hospital, they offered him the job for Mr. Mayhem. So this I was surprised. I had no idea she was in this movie, but I like her very much. Adrian Palicki is Miss Perkins.
Ugh.
And then you have Omar Barnea as Gregory.
Aw.
Where's my guy? Ian McShane, Winston.
He's such a wiener. Too.
John Leguizamo
Oh, yeah,
has
he's
a
good.
little tiny
Yeah.
thing, and Lance Reddick as the hotel manager, which is very cool. He's
Oh,
very-
I like him.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
Very smooth.
He's a good character. Yeah.
Yes. Anyway, and a number of other people. This movie was directed by Chad Stahelski.
I think he was a former stunt guy.
He was for another movie. I think it was called The Matrix. And David Lech. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, but he was uncredited as the director. So there were two directors on this film, but because of rules and all that crazy stuff with the Motion Picture Association, all this kind of stuff,
happens a
SAG and
lot.
whatnot. It happens a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But they co-directed this movie, and it was written by Derek Kolstad. If you watch the show Nobody, that's his show. He wrote that, as well as the other John Wick films, which we won't get into. But anyway, so story, John Wick. We have the beginning of this movie is a very, reminded me of Pixar's Up. Because you have 5 minutes.
Exactly the same.
Like almost exactly.
It's like it's like a list. If you liked Up, watch John Wick.
Watch the first 5 minutes of John Wick because it's exactly that. It's 5 minutes of music and no dialogue and different scenes that pretty much set the stage that John Wick had a wife who died suddenly, and now he is alone. We also find out that Mr. Wick is pretty good at killing people. He is a trained assassin. He is given, hopefully I'll pronounce this right, posthumous.
Yep, you did it. That's the way.
After his wife dies, she sends him a gift, and it is a cute little doggy. It's a cute little doggy.
Yes.
It's so cute.
And a note that basically says, here's your friend, and you need a friend and whatnot. So he's only had this dog for, 2 days, maybe?
Yeah.
Like, literally, 2 days.
It's still a little puppy.
He's
because he has like two things: his car and his dog.
His car and his dog. He has a beautiful
really nice
car,
house.
a really
Yeah,
nice
really nice
house.
house,
Well,
yeah.
he makes money. You make a lot of money when
He
you're
has
an
made his
assassin.
money. Yes.
Yes, made. So he's out of the business at this point. He gets this dog, hanging out with the dog for a couple of days, and really doesn't have that much time to get used to the dog because he runs across a couple of Russian thugs, we'll say, right?
Gangsters.
Gangsters, hooligans, who like his car,
Right.
right?
It's a nice car.
Nice car. So somehow they ask him, hey, how much for the car? It's not for sale, blah, blah, blah. He drives away. Somehow they find him and they break into his house. They steal his car and they kill the dog. And that was a very, very rough scene. I will tell you, because I'll bring up some trivia items from Internet Movie Database, and we'll put this in the show notes. I will tell you that the dog was not hurt. They did not really kill the dog.
Oh, good.
Good.
I just want to let you know the dog is actually alive, and the dog was a beagle, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And basically, what they did was
I hate when they kill dogs in movies.
what they did was they filmed.
But it's a good catalyst. It honestly, if they had killed his wife and he did all that, I'd be like, okay. But when they kill his dog, and I'm like, yes, like that's right, that's what you get. Like, I feel like it's a good motivator though for the rest of the movie.
Yes. Yes. Well, it's just like adding insult to injury here because he just lost his wife.
Right.
They stole his car and they killed the one thing that she left. And he explains this in the movie.
Oh,
he
yeah,
actually says this in the movie. He says it out loud, what the reason is. So how they did that, they filmed that in two parts. They filmed the dog walking behind the couch. And then they took the dog, they took the dog away, and then the actor walks around the couch and he supposedly kicks the dog behind the couch off.
You don't see any of it.
No,
You don't see any. You don't see anything.
hear
You see
it.
the post.
And then you just see him laying there, little puppy.
Yeah, and he walked to him to be next to him. If you notice, there's a trail of blood because he lay.
Yeah.
The actor who had to do that, one of the thugs, after that scene, actually, everybody stopped and he went and he hugged the dog and he petted the dog.
Oh, God, I'm
Even though the dog wasn't there, it just felt bad. So it's like, I wouldn't do that to you. So this car ends up in a chop shop owned by John Leguizamo is playing the character, and he asks, "Where'd you get the car from?" Because he recognizes the car right away. And he's like, "Oh, we got it from blah blah blah." He's like, "That's John Wick's car," and he pretty much knows, that you guys are dead.
Yeah.
He's going to come and get you.
Yeah.
And it turns out that this guy who stole the car with his friends is the son of John Wick's pretty much former employer. Who's this Russian mobster. So that's basically the setup. He basically says to his son, he's like, he pretty much knows. He's like, you're dead. I've seen this guy kill, 4 people with a pencil, which I hear is coming up in the next movies. But he kills guys with pencil, and he's just amazing. He does all this crazy stuff, and he's able to do this, and he's like one man, and he's not unstoppable. That's basically the hour. It's a nice, hey, Nicole. It's a nice, tight hour and 40 minutes.
I know. And I was ready to go to, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll finish it. And Steve paused. He's like, no, you got a half hour left.
Yeah,
and I was
exactly. You're like,
okay.
oh, there's only a half hour left. Yeah.
Steve must have seen it.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Steve's seen it. This was the third, well, the 2.5 time. The first time I watched the beginning, fell asleep.
Okay.
Second time, I was able to go through the whole thing, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So this time, I was ready to watch it again. I liked it.
So that's so it's pretty much the movie is his journey. And I will say about that last half hour, because the film pretty much finishes up, you think, at that point. Like there's about 30 minutes left to the film, and he, spoiler alert, he kills the son.
Gets his revenge on
he gets his
everyone.
Son. He gets his son. But at the 30-minute mark, there's like, okay, what's coming up?
Right.
Well, things kind of turn at that point. It's not really a twist, but now this guy wants to go after John Wick. He wants to get John Wick. And
the dad. Right.
Yes, the father.
Because he still, I think he probably feels some type of way that he killed his son, so he kind of has to
do
at
something,
least attempt to like avenge his son and whatnot.
So that last half hour is basically John Wick coming after the dad coming after John Wick, and John Wick coming after the dad.
Right.
And in the end, John Wick reigns supreme.
Of course.
There's 2 more movies. Huh?
Yes, there's 2 more movies. 3, actually 3. There's a John Wick 4 coming.
And he rescues another dog.
He rescues another dog, like serendipitously. He stumbles upon a kennel, and was that a bulldog? What is that?
A pit bull.
A pit bull.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the story in a nutshell. Let's discuss. First, I'll ask you, Sarah. I don't know why I'm asking you because this is like the silliest question. What did you think of the Keanu Reeves movie?
Well, I mean, you have so much to compare. Like, you know his whole, filmography. So, like, as a, Keanu Reeves movie, where does it land for you? Because obviously you're going to, like it. But, you know what I mean? In terms of all of his stuff, like, where does this...
I like all of his stuff.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter. No, I liked it. I was... I think he has aged well, so...
Okay.
Do you like it better than The Matrix? Do you like it as like...
Well, when I watched The Matrix, it was like... He's not the best of actors.
Okay, yes.
So I feel like the less...
You said it first. Okay, so now I feel okay saying it.
No, the less he says and the more he does is better for me.
Right.
So in this movie, he's a man of little words.
Yes.
And basically his job is to just wreak havoc on and avenge. So it was good.
Okay.
But with like The Matrix, he was still young and it was still like, it was almost like, oh. I did like The Matrix, but I didn't, like, it was kind of too much, The Matrix. It was like, all right, rein it in a little. You're getting to...
Right.
I'm curious to see what they're going to do with 4. It was like almost like they were trying too hard to make it too smart.
Right. So do you like Keanu Reeves then action or Keanu Reeves like Lake House?
Oh, it's funny. I was telling Sal.
You haven't seen that movie.
I didn't see Lake House.
Oh.
I'm not a huge fan of his romance movies because he's a little wooden. So it's kind of like... Meh.
Yeah.
But I've seen a lot of almost all of his movies except for I think that one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and maybe just because it's a time travel thing and it's a remake. It was originally an Asian film.
Oh okay.
Yeah, and then I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Look, is he the best actor ever? No, I'll say that. And you're right. It's a lot of the issues is he's wooden, but I think he is very lucky. And he's probably very smart in the roles that he picks because I feel like he has gotten to the point in his career where people write parts for Keanu based on his depth and his acting style. And I think that's why he is so great in a movie like this.
Right.
Where it's mostly action. The poor guy had a tough life. I mean, his sister, right, was... Something happened to his sister.
She has leukemia. I know everything about this band.
Yeah, so his his girlfriend died, right? His girlfriend died. So,
Didn't the man have a daughter? Didn't he have a kid? Or
he had a baby.
He had a miscarriage. And then she died from complications later on, right? From the miscarriage?
No, it was a car accident coming home from Marilyn Manson's house.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
It's a little sad how
it's
much
sad,
I know.
Yeah. So he's had all this stuff. So this is a perfect part for him and he said that he actually was able to channel those feelings when doing this movie. But yeah, I think he chooses his parts wisely, and that's the reason why he's so successful. Yeah. So Nicole, you liked it?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Keanu Reeves. And then me and Steve were talking about it when we were watching it because Steve was like, "Oh, did you know that he like got proficient?" Like he trained so much, which is like he's known to do this. Like trained so much for the role that he becomes like very good at it. And I was like, well, that's his job. So I don't give him too much credit. But
that's what I say all the time about like actors and actresses. I'm like, that get fit. I'm like, well, they're getting paid to do that. I'm
Yes.
like, I would be annoyed if they didn't.
Yeah.
Or like
Yeah.
women
But
who look very
apparently
pretty.
he does it
should.
a step above what is necessary for the. You could train enough to look decent on camera with all the choreography and cuts and edits, so they can make you look good even if you're not that good. But apparently
Yes.
he's very, very good. So that's good for him.
He did 90% of his stunts in this film.
Mm.
So
Good.
He's like the
They were
Cruise.
really good. I mean, I like the movie a lot. I think it's like shot really well. I think the pacing is really good. Obviously, an hour and 40 minutes, the pacing has to be good.
yes.
So I really liked it. I thought the color, I noticed this time the color grading. Not that I know anything about color grading,
Mm-hmm.
but like, but I just like was looking at this time. I'm like, it looks really good. I feel like it really helped convey because like. A lot of people don't speak. It's not there's not too much dialogue in the whole movie. And I feel like they did a really good job with like the color and all the other things that would go into it, if you're not speaking that much. And another thing I liked, I'll keep going. I like the subtitles. They're very unique how they put them on the
fonts and such.
Yeah. I think and that's something I was watching like it was like interpreting and like obviously I keep up with like the deaf community and things, you know what I mean? And so subtitles are a big part of that. And like there are some like deaf filmmakers and stuff that do like incorporate subtitles like that. You know what I mean? Like not just on the bottom, like or captions, I guess you would say, not subtitles. Like there were subtitles in this movie because they were speaking Russian, but like captions and stuff and how they like incorporate it into the scene and into the picture and stuff like that. So I really liked when they seeing that. So that's cool.
Doing that. Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned his fighting style or his training and whatnot. And I thought it was interesting because there's a point in this, there's many points in this film when he's in gunfights and whatnot. And he was holding the gun, I thought, kind of strange, where it's like, it's almost, he's holding it like very close to his chest, kind of center line, and like, not like typical.
Right.
In movies. And what he was doing was the actual correct way and not the typical movie way.
Right.
And this was, and I looked this up, and it's a piece of trivia. So John Wick smoothly transitions between several shooting styles depending on the situation. During close quarter battles, and while moving through tight hallways, he employs a center axle relock stance, which is what I was noticing.
Yeah.
When moving and shooting at longer ranges, he changes into a more traditional weaver and isosceles stances. And I was like, there are stances? I thought you just like, you have to be really evil looking and you hold the gun up sideways and go, hey, eat your maker, whatever. Anyway, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah.
Good for Keanu doing his job.
Yeah. I liked the movie.
Was it too violent for you?
No, it wasn't too violent for me.
Okay.
I guess if I had a problem with this movie, it's a stupid problem. I'll tell you right off the bat. This is a stupid issue that I have, but I have it.
Sure.
Is the fact that this must take place on a different planet.
Well, okay.
This movie. And obviously, I felt like this was like a video game. And it's funny because when I went back and after I watched the movie, I go to my go-to movie, Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns. I go to those guys.
Okay.
To see what they said. And they kind of compared it to that as well as it being like a video game.
Yeah.
Because you have this hotel in the middle of New York City, which is just, it's like a safe house for all these bad guys. So there was that. You pay with these coins. It was a single coin to get into the hotel. So that was kind of weird. But the thing that really, to me, kind of like, I had a little problem with, there is no law enforcement except once.
Right, when they knock on the door.
Then they knock on the door, and it obviously that guy's in on the whole thing.
Right.
In the entire film. And not that I needed it to be there, but it took some of that realistic kind of thing out for me. If they added that, like there's this huge gigantic shootout in the church parking lot. John Wick takes out a gun, bigger than his body, and he starts like, taking out people and whatnot.
Maybe they just got there after he left.
Okay, that's fine, but it's not. But it's this underworld, the seedy underbelly of crime, and there's like no outside of it at all. So you're just kind of inside this world, and the outside world did not creep in at all.
Just wait to get to the second movie.
Okay,
Talk about an underground world of.
Yeah, I mean, in the club,
Right.
the first 5 minutes of John Wick and the Russian guy's son basically firing at each other, people are still dancing at the red circle. It's just like, yeah, okay, whatever, you know.
It's loud in a club. Have you ever been in a club? You might not be able to.
Do you think I go to the club?
No.
That was rhetorical. I'll tell you. It's loud in there. Especially in that kind of club.
So that was kind of the thing. That being said, if I had gone into this movie knowing that this was in a different world, I probably would have liked it just a tiny bit more than I did.
You didn't pick up on that, though, at all?
No, I picked
when
up
he
on it.
had his chest of goodies with weird coins.
Yeah, no.
And
That's
the hotel was only for a certain clientele.
Yeah, no, that's when I got it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's when I basically said, okay, I'm going. This is where this is going.
Right.
You know? And that's not to say that I didn't think this movie was exciting. When I watch a movie by myself, okay, all right, here we go. Personal information here.
Oh, okay.
When the movie gets exciting or tense or something like that, I will stand up in front of the TV set.
What do you do at the movie theater?
And I don't. Yeah. I guess edge of my seat would be the proper thing, but I stand up and I kind of not shaking, but I'm like, it's like I kind of get into the whole thing. That happened a lot during this movie. I would say half of the movie, 45 minutes worth, was me standing up like, oh my goodness, what's going, that kind of thing. I knew he wasn't going to die or anything like that, but I still felt that there were issues that, there were times where it was on the line. And I will tell you what I did very, very much like about this, despite the fact that this film takes place in this world of, gangsters and whatnot. And it's I like the fact that John Wick, as amazing as he is, as skilled an assassin he is, and he can take out all these people, and you know what? You're done. You're going to die. He was never invincible.
No, he got
at
hurt.
all.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. He gets his butt beat. Crucial,
I feel like.
And I think I very much liked that.
Yeah.
So we have the film here at the library, of course. In fact, it's kind of silly. If there's a movie with Keanu Reeves in it, the Middle Country Public Library DVD collection has it.
Maybe.
I wonder why, since Sarah's in charge of it. So it's here, and Sarah, you asked me, are you going to watch the rest of the movies? Yes, I will watch the rest of the movies.
You should.
And I have to assume
they're
that
all good.
Yes, it's going to get more interesting based on what I briefly read about the synopsis of the new movie. So that being said, scale of 1 to 10. I don't know why I'm going to ask you this, Sarah.
Of course it gets a 10.
A 10. Okay. Nicole.
Let's go to 10.
10. Okay. I'll give it an 8. Yes. Enjoyable. And so there you go. There's another movie chat. And if you want to listen to our older movie chats or read our show notes, you know where to find it. Visit the website, mcplpodcast.com. If you're listening / watching us on YouTube, hit the like button and please hit subscribe. We're trying to as of the recording, we have about 650 subscribers on the library's YouTube page.
Nice.
Let's by the end of the year, let's get up to 1,000. Let's do that.
By the end of the year?
By the end of the year.
We can do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
We can do it.
350?
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
So hit subscribe, please. If you have any questions, comments, suggestions, please email us, podcast@mcplibrary.org. So for Sarah Fade and Nicole Rambo, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. See you on the next show.